And this segment is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbooking app. Not only is it safe, but it is secure, and most importantly, Deke, it's reliable. Reliability.
Always a great thing.
You can never have too much reliability, man. And for all the first-time users out there, if you use the promo code Moats, you will receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money. I don't know about you. I like how that sounds. Do you like how that sounds?
It really does. It sounds really nice.
It sounds really nice to both of us. So we're experts here. Trust what we're saying. And by doing that, you should download the app, use the promo code, receive the deposit bonus, and get an opportunity to make a little money. 10-4 Colts. Frank Wright is the head coach, third year. A lot of key matchups, man. Offense and defense in this one, man. For me, start with the Colts offense, man. Obviously, people assume with Phillip Rivers, they want to just throw, but they are physical. They run that rock, man. They got two running backs, Nyheim Hines and Jonathan Taylor. Those dudes, man, you watch them on tape, man, great run demeanor, contact, balance, patience, make guys miss. Very, very challenging out the backfield. And then up front, you know, they have one of the premier offensive lines.
Bro,
I mean,
I'm watching these games.
Yes,
I'm like, wow.
Yes,
wow.
Dude. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Was this us like 4 years ago?
Yes, it was. Oh my God. Except we had way better quarterback play.
Pass protection.
Oh my God.
The run game. You could see these guys getting
It's
2-3 yards off the line of scrimmage here, and the
right?
holes that these running backs have.
It's crazy.
I was just like, wow. Wow.
Compared to what we've been seeing this year, where you're like, all right, as long as y'all stalemate, just don't lose. Just stalemate, we'll be okay. Like, they are moving people. And it starts up front with them though, man. Quentin Nelson, premier guard in this league, man, one of the best to do it. Obviously, I mean, that whole offensive line, you can go down the list. They got a crazy center that's a beast, man. What's his name? Kelly, I think his last name. Yeah, Ryan Kelly. Yep, he's another one. Beast, man. They're just a very complete team. On offense, their biggest weakness is Phillip Rivers. That's, to me, it just depends on which Rivers you're going to get, man. If you get the Rivers that's accurate, that's hot, you know, the streaky Rivers, then yeah, it's going to be a long day, man, because T.Y. Hilton and Zach Pascal, man, have been producing.
They've been heating up.
They definitely have. And they have a good rapport with Phillip, I feel like, too. But the flip side is sometimes Phillip will hit you in the face with the ball. Sometimes Phillip makes some bad decisions. Sometimes that arm look a little janky. It's really just depending on Phillip because, like you said, man, they don't get sacked a lot. They don't give a lot of pressure. Like, they do a good job up front, man. And they got guys that win, guys that are winning on the outside in terms of their routes, and they got a strong running game, man.
No, I think you put it good with Rivers because I'm watching it, and you see sometimes, and that's going to be the key, man. Like, between our defensive line and their offensive line, who's going to be winning this? Because I think if you get the pressure on Rivers, have him make some of these bad decisions, there's going to be 2 or 3 picks that are going to be available to us.
Like easy ones. Like, it's not crazy. It's more flirting with Eli Manning type. Like, will not see you and hit you square in the face with the rock, man. Like, not good.
And the games that they've lost, in all 4, they've had a turnover.
Yep.
And 3 of those 4, they've had multiple turnovers. But outside of that, they're one of the top 3 teams in the league of
easy.
What would you say of
the turnover differential?
Yeah, turnover differential. Yeah, because on defense,
protecting the ball and creating turnovers.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't. With that being said, they don't give away a lot of turnovers here. They really don't. But in the games that they've lost, that has been a consistent element.
To me, when I watch them, I think of a higher end version of Washington. In terms of when you think about Washington's offense, they will take the shots when they need to, but they're going to make sure they protect the ball. They're going to run the ball. They're going to get their backs featured in the offense, protect them up front. Like I said, a higher end version because obviously Phillip Rivers is better than Alex Smith or Dwayne Haskins. Obviously, the running backs in Indianapolis are not a lot better, but they are better than the running backs in Washington. And obviously,
you're seeing with Taylor, man. He's coming on strong.
Like, he looks
really good.
Man, he looks good, dude. So to me, that's the thing. Like, when you think about when they played, it's like, it wasn't this crazy tempo. It wasn't this crazy aerial assault. It was, man, just a traditional pro style offense, man. They're going to run, play action. You take the shots when they want to. That's what the Colts do. And honestly, they don't have to take a lot of chances because, like you said, they don't turn the ball over a lot. The games when they're winning, man, they don't turn that ball over. And they do a really good job of generating turnovers on the other end as well. But the challenge is going to be, man, how we respond. I think, number one, Vince Williams coming back is going to be huge. You know what he brings to the table from a physicalness, a toughness, just above the neck game. That's going to help out Avery Williamson a ton. Avery's going to be able to just go back to just playing football. Vince could tell him, hey, look, man, this your gap right here. So from here on, dude, you just worry about what the formations are. I got you on everything else. That's also going to help out Marcus Allen, because now Marcus, instead of having to play 100% of the snaps at inside linebacker, now he's going to be limited to situational plays, passing plays, where he's going to excel. Because the open field tackling on our linebackers versus their running backs is going to be critical. They're going to have ample opportunities where they're going to be one-on-one with these guys in the hole and on the perimeter. The tackling is going to be key. Marcus Allen, though, man, he's a great athlete. He can make those plays in space, especially on possession downs like that. So I do think that, man, as much as my eyes are going to be on that group, the inside linebackers, I do think with Vince coming back, they will be able to stand up a lot better than if he was not going to be in that lineup. And then up front, man, like you said, that's the battle right there. I mean, depending on how where do we start, man? Between I mean, you got these guys, like I said, man, with Ryan Kelly, Quentin Nelson, Anthony Costanzo, who's been doing this forever. I feel like they are solid up front, man. They, like you said, you talked about it. They don't give a lot of pressure. They do a good job of keeping him clean and moving guys off the ball. But that's what I want to see, like, because we fancy ourselves as really good against the run, especially when we're healthy. When we're at full
getting
strength,
Vince back, right?
Yeah, that's why I said full healthy. Yep.
Yeah.
Vince back. We fancy ourselves as downhill thumpers, guys that excel in terms of tackle for loss. We talked about Tyson now. He's been back for a couple of weeks. This is going to be their biggest test right now, man, just to see how they respond to that. Because if you don't make them one-dimensional, if you don't make this a game where Phillip has to pass the ball to move the route, man, you're gonna be
because they're gonna be
a tough time.
Because they're gonna be balanced. That's the thing.
That's the thing. You want to make them one-dimensional, man.
Yeah. So yeah, it's either we get up a little bit and have them try to come back, start passing the ball, or we just got to completely stop the run, because that's what happened in the Titans game.
Yes.
Where Derrick Henry just completely went off on him. So can we say, hey, Benny Snell, why don't you have 200 yards this game? That would help. But no, like they got up early. Derrick Henry was going off, and the Colts weren't able to move the ball. But in all these recent wins that they've had, Taylor's been going off. So that's been a key element. Rivers has been playing good along with Taylor. So they've been balanced. And to your point, like if we could stop the run, I think that's probably the first. Like if you're gonna prioritize things, like stop the run first. Because I like our cornerback matchup against the receivers.
I do too.
I mean, obviously, like Stephon Diggs had our number whenever he played against us. But for the most part, our corners have been pretty solid.
But to me, this is the difference. Like T.Y. is really good. T.Y. is a one-trick pony. He is a vertical threat, or he's going to hit you on a deep over route. He's not giving you the routes that Diggs was giving. We saw Diggs would take you deep. Diggs was cutting up people on underneath routes, stops Diggs. It didn't matter. Like, Diggs' repertoire in terms of what he's able to do from a route running standpoint is a lot more advanced than T.Y. Hilton. I like our matchup against T.Y. because, like I said, with Steven Nelson, Steven does a great job of rerouting guys. He does a great job of getting hands-on, disrupting their timing. That's the first part. So I'm confident with him, with those two guys being matched up. But then with Joe, we know Joe is the better athlete to me. Joe, I mean, his in-game experience, his playmaking ability, and how many times he's matched up with T.Y. as well. I'm confident in that too. I think that that's a situation where we'll be fine. But I feel like I only like it if they're one-dimensional and having to keep going back to it.
Yeah.
I don't like it when Joe and Steven got to worry about, tackling Jonathan Taylor as he gets to the perimeter. And now instead of them playing coverage first, they're playing run first, and they get hit with something crazy down the field. That's my biggest concern in that whole matchup right there, man.
No, for sure. Do we have is that the defense versus the offense, I guess? Do we have that all covered?
I feel like we do. I'm excited, though. That's going to be a good match. That's going to be dude. That is going to be a good match.
That's what I was thinking as I was watching their games and just doing some of the research. I'm like, this is a good team. You can't really, there's not really anything that's, oh man, so glaring. Like these guys are terrible at this or that. They're just, maybe they're a little worse at receivers than some of the top tier receivers in the league. Maybe Phillip Rivers is borderline top 10, top 15. But like as a team, they're solid and they play really solid. Yes. They don't do anything dumb.
Absolutely. I think to me, the one thing that I'm going to be interested in to see, and we're going to have to make this happen. We've struggled with mobile quarterbacks recently, right? Ryan Finley, he hurt us a little bit with his legs, not only with the zone read, but some of the stuff where, nobody's there, he just pulls down and runs. We obviously know what Josh Allen was able to do a little bit on the ground as well. I want to see this scenario where, because our coverage is doing what they're supposed to do, we create that hostile environment. That's going to be tough, but make him uncomfortable in the pocket. Because, man, when he's been pressured, he doesn't have the running ability. He's not going to be able to hurt you with his legs like that. So to me, I'm like, man, if we can make it where he's going to have to be using his legs, he's going to have to be getting bumped around a little bit. That is a scenario that is very positive for us. The problem is, like I said, it's creating that because their O-line does a really, really good job. But if we can create that chaos, that havoc, man, I think that it's a huge, huge advantage for us if we could do that, man.
No, for sure.
I like it. All right.
Now we got our offense.
Whew.
First their defense.
This is another good on good, man. I'm excited about this too.
Yeah, their defense is good. Yeah. Definitely their front seven, man.
Without a doubt.
Justin Houston, Buckner. You obviously have Darius Leonard too.
Yeah, without a doubt. They're pretty good up front, man.
This is probably the most, if you're going to take all the position groups, this is probably the most interesting matchup of like.
Oh, without a doubt, yes.
Are we going to bounce back here?
Yes.
And, Colts have been pretty consistently good at defense and stopping the run. I mean, their weakness, I guess you could say, is probably cornerbacks because they've let some receivers go off them.
And they got some guys hurt. Obviously, Malik Hooker, he's been on IR as well, man. Yep.
Yeah, because they have two young safeties back there.
I was going to say, so the safeties are Kyrie Willis and Julian Blackman, and then the two corners are Kenny Moore II and Xavier Rhodes. Now, obviously, we know Xavier... Yep. His play has been a lot better this year, but obviously at the last year or two in Minnesota, it was kind of rocky. So it's going to be interesting to see just what that looks like if he still got that going on, man.
No, 100%. Yeah. Big question: can we keep the running game going?
That's going to be key.
Like it's
going to be key, but
it's weird because based off the personnel matchups, you're probably thinking our line versus their defensive line,
our line versus their front seven. Or our line / running backs against their front seven. I don't like that. What I like is our receivers versus their secondary. Right. The biggest question right now is what's Ben going to look like, right? Because we've seen, you said the past two games has definitely been down games for him. Less about how he's feeling, downfield passing. To me, just the simple timing stuff, right? The underneath, the drag route stuff, the timing of the ball placement, and his route. I mean, not route recognition, his coverage recognition, right? It was highlighted multiple times. We talked about it earlier in the week as well. Just him being fooled a little bit in coverage. Those are the biggest question marks to me. I'm like, if Ben is accurate and on time with his underneath passes, his short and intermediate passes, if Ben is sharp in terms of his above the net game and not allowing the coverages to fool him, I feel like that is enough to stress them out. But the problem is, like I said, man, we got to see if we can consistently do that for 4 quarters. That's the problem right now, man.
What do you think about this run game, though? I like the momentum that we had from last week, maybe going into this week. The problem is, like I mentioned, is just their defensive line and their players.
Yeah.
Like, could you somehow, maybe with Benny Snell, dude, could he be the X factor here?
I mean, I hope, but I don't have a lot of faith in it. Because, and this is the thing, man. They, like I said, you talked about it. You've seen it on tape. We're trying to convince ourselves that our running game that magically worked a little bit against the Bengals is all of a sudden going to give it to this Colts defense that we know if we were talking about passing, man, we could go there because we know they struggle a little bit on the back end. The injuries, it happens. But the thing they do really well is stop the run, man. That like their front seven is definitely the strength of that defense, man.
There was some comment I saw on one of these games I was watching. They said the only 100-yard rushers they've allowed over the past 2 years or something like that.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Just think about that, bro.
So yeah, outside of that, they're pretty damn good against the run.
So that's why for me, it's like as much as I'm excited about what the running game looked like, and as much as I would want that to happen again, I'm just having my doubts because the reason I'm torn is this too. I'm confident.
Wait, is Dotson back?
So this is the thing. So we're waiting to find out about Dotson. But even last week, they didn't solely. You're looking for your word. It's empty.
It's empty anyway. Never mind. It's just a habit. Empty. I think it's like I'm a little thirsty. I need to go for it. But no, it's empty.
But even last week, they used a mix. It was a combo of J.C. Hassner and Derwin Gray at left guard. And actually, Derwin played really well at left guard, man. He had the big Benny Snell run play. It was actually Derwin, man. He was in there moving dudes out, man. It looked good. I was surprised because obviously he's a tackle by trade.
I was going to say, can he play right tackle? We put him at right tackle. We bring in Dotson.
He was definitely a tackle, but they put him at left guard. He started rotating. I think he had about 16 snaps on the offense. Obviously, JC, I think, was at 40. It was either 38 or 40, like in that range. But yeah, they definitely started rotating those guys, man. And like I said, from the little bit that I saw with Gray in the run game, he did move some people out the way. So I was like, all right. But it was the Bengals. That's my only issue. And it's still not a shot at the Bengals. Trust me. I mean, the Bengals, they won, tip your cap to them. But if you play that game 10 times, we know how the outcome is going to be. So to me, I don't look at that performance by Benny Snell on the offensive line against the Bengals as something that I'm anticipating going forward. I look at that more as an outlier. I think that they will struggle to run the ball against this front. And that
what's success for you on the run? 60, 70 yards?
Think about this. Last week was success. We only had 80 yards rushing. Think about it. Yeah. We ended at 87 yards, and Benny Snell had 83 of them. Or 84 of them, yeah. So it wasn't this crazy rushing, but it felt good, right? It felt effective. So to me, effective running. It could be 60 yards. It could be 80 yards. Effective running. Remember when we played Washington, right? We said they ran the ball effectively against us. They only had about 60 yards on the ground, tops. So it's not this has to be over 100, and I don't think we will get over 100 rushing. But if we can effectively run that ball, and when we talk about effective, I'm talking when it's second and short, third and short, if it's fourth and short, and we need that yard that Coach Simon always talks about, we're consistently getting those. Goal line, we need to punch it in. We saw it happen last week. That's effective running. If we need to, off tempo, give them a draw run, off tempo, counter run. That's effective running. Just to keep them on schedule.
It was working last week, dude.
So to me, it doesn't have to be crazy, just effective, because effective is going to make them have to play us honest. If they play us honest, we can take advantage of them in the from a passing standpoint. Our receivers are going to give their corners trouble. I mean, our receivers gave the Bengals trouble. We know this. They're there. They're good to go. They're ready to go. The two things we're going to have to look at, number one is Ben. Like I said, what is he going to look like coming in this game after back-to-back less than good performances, right? Or for his standards. Less than good.
You painted that pretty good, huh?
But for his standards.
Than good.
Less than good. Oh, we always got to sound full.
You're dealing with a Ben fanatic here. You gotta soften the blow, huh?
But that's the first part. And then the second reason why I said I'm still a little 50-50 with the run, in terms of not even 50-50, but another reason why I don't feel very optimistic about it is, if James Conner is available, I don't know what's his full extent of that. Because remember, last week he was a late scratch in terms of not being able to play, dealing with the thigh injury, right? Coming back, we know this is going to be a physical game. If you go out there, it's going to be physical. I don't want the scenario where it's like Cleveland last year on a Thursday night game where we have a plan for James to use him.
It's happened how many games?
Multiple times, right? Yeah. So that's, to me, because we know for a fact they will formulate a plan around James being out there. And then if James goes out there for the first two series or the first quarter and the leg isn't where it needs to be, he gets hit again. Now we're stuck. Now we're trying to use Benny Snell and Jalen Samuels and McFarland for stuff that you had designed for James, and it's just not going to work out the way it's supposed to. So that's another reason why I don't feel as optimistic about the running game versus this particular defense.
Yeah.
Man.
That's why I'm feeling we just roll with Benny Snell. But it's still early in the week. We got to see what Connor's injury report is and stuff.
Absolutely,
man. Dude, I'm good with just rolling Snell rest of the year. I really am. But yeah,
I'm not opposed to it, man. We talked about that too.
We talked about this last podcast. Yeah, dude. I think you hit everything though. Like, if our receivers can win these matchups, Ben plays a better game. Yeah. Our line, I'm not that confident in our line. If we get Dotson, I love Dotson, man.
I know you bring him up a lot. You a Dotson guy. I'm with you.
So hopefully, if he comes back, man, yeah, that'd be great.
For me, oh man, I'm excited. I am still excited about this matchup, man. I just, when it comes to offensive line, just keep 7 clean. Like I don't want to say that I've lost hope with the run game, even though they had a good performance against the Bengals. It's just this matchup against this Colts defense.
We got 2 matchups here. Yeah, 2 good matchups coming up.
That's the difference, man. So for me, keep 7 clean. I'm putting my eggs in the 7 being good basket. Right, wrong, or indifferent. We're going to live and we're going to die. We said that at the beginning of the year.
And that's what I'm thinking too. No. Like I told you on the last one, I think the only way to go is up, and I'm optimistic about it. I don't know, because we could talk about their personnel versus our personnel, the X's and O's and stuff like that, based off these past 2 games. Anyone, that has watched it and is looking at reality, it's like, all right, we haven't looked good, but there's always like there's always weird flips of switch with the NFL. Like you can't explain. Like, bro, wow, now we're on a hot streak right here for these next 4 or 5 games. That kind of stuff happens in the NFL. Like someone was bringing this up. I was on some type of message board. They said the Saints, when they won the Super Bowl, they lost 3 games in a row, something like that. I think it had more or less to do with like they already locked up like their division and were resting and everything like that. But dude, it happens. It happens in the NFL. Losing streaks happen, and then all of a sudden, winning streaks can happen. That's why I'm keeping the faith, dude.
I like it. So, you about ready for them predictions, baby?
Sure. All right. I actually haven't thought about this at all.
All right. I will say this. I had a little funny thing, man. Before we give our predictions, this is probably the only team that I know uses 2 different quarterbacks in the NFL.
Dude, I can't believe this.
Do you see that? Like if it's 3rd and 1 or 4th, if it's 3rd and short, Jacoby Brissett, and it's not just for quarterback sneaks. He's handed the ball off. He's bootlegged. He's like, it's crazy. I thought maybe it was a technique. I was like, man, maybe it's because the most recent game. Let me just go back. They've been doing this all season.
Or if like maybe Rivers got banged up on that play.
No,
it's not. I see it on Red Zone on Sundays. I'm like, wait, is Rivers out for the season or something?
What's going
but then
on?
I see him playing the next play.
And I thought like maybe it's just running players or just quarterbacks. Like, no, Brissett is back there throwing the ball audible. I'm like, oh man, this is nuts. So that is another thing where I'm like, I remember you said this earlier. You said you're not a fan.
I don't like that.
And I'm not either how they're doing it. I like it when you use it like with how Philly was doing with Hurts, how the Saints do with Taysom. I don't like when you're having this guy come in and try to play quarterback.
Is Brissett not? I mean, obviously they're a little different in styles. Just Brissett can move a little bit better, but
he's not a runner.
But that's what I was gonna say. It's not a Drew Brees to Taysom Hill difference or Carson Wentz to Jalen Hurts difference. Where
this makes no sense.
It's similar enough where you're just like, what the hell are you doing?
I'm like, you're outthinking yourself. I'm like, so okay, because Phillip is in, we're not thinking quarterback sneak, but Brissett, now we're thinking quarterback. Like, what are we doing here, bro? This is crazy, bro. So I just had to throw that out there before we get these picks.
No, you're right. I was thinking the same thing.
Do you want to go first or you want me to go first, man?
All right. I'll go first.
All right.
Wow, 27 came to my mind. Is it a
funny?
sign?
I had 27 too. This is good.
Is it a sign?
It might be a sign. Might be.
People are calling for it again.
They're calling for it.
I can't do that though.
No. You only got one eyebrow now. That's a 2 eyebrow thing.
What do you mean? 27-13?
Yeah, that's only for 2 eyebrows and a mustache.
You
got one eyebrow and baby face.
Okay. I'm thinking the offense bounces back.
Okay.
4 touchdowns.
Woo! Okay, God. There he goes. That is the Deke that I know. 4 of them things. Shut up.
No.
Oh, I was just checking. No.
You
gotta check.
We were talking about this with me and my brother and my friends. We were like, bro, you should just come out 31-0 every time now.
I kind of liked it. I love the energy.
It is funny. 28 for the Steelers though. 4 touchdowns. Benny Snell gets 1. Benny Snell, man, I think he teeters on that 100 yards. I think he gets close. I just got a feeling. Everything we talked about up to this point, yeah, I get it. The X's and O's maybe aren't pointing in that direction, but there's something about Snell. And if we get Dawson back, my man Dawson.
I like it.
Ben gets 3 touchdowns. One of them to Juju. Okay. You know what? For good time's sake, he danced a little bit in the end zone. And then defense, I'm feeling good about the defense. I'm saying 17. 28-17 Steelers.
I love how just elaborate and detail-oriented your pick was. I'm going to be short and sweet. Okay? Forgive me for I have sinned. I got the Colts 27-18, baby. I had to do it, all right? Hate me now, kill me in the comments. Hopefully I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know me. I picked the 16-0. This hurts me. But after these 3 weeks, man, all right, the 16-0 is over. So Deke has 1 eyebrow. I'm picking against the Steelers. Enjoy.
Score reversals, basically.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, 1 point off, man.
27-18. I said 28-17.
28-17, yeah.
Wow.
So, that's that, baby. That is that.
So you're rooting for the TikTokers, you're rooting for the social media people to be saying after Sunday, Moats, you're wrong, man.
I hope so. I want them to kill me in the comments.
Yeah.
Kill me in the comments. Yes, please. I don't want to be right this week. I do not want to be right.
This was the first one this year.
Yes.
The first pick against the Steelers.
It is. But on a lighter note,
does it switch up the mojo somehow, though?
We're going to find out. You know I'm not opposed to it.